Just waiting for my Facebook Live to come on. Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome. Hey, Erin. I'm looking on a few different screens here. So today we're going to be continuing on with intentions, and this is Energy Works. So, and I wanted to ask everyone too if they have any questions, if they have something that they want me to look at, that I'm going to be using this time also to answer questions or even to take a look at whatever you need. And that way we can just move some energy or let me know the topics that you're interested in. That way, because I get downloads all the time and I'm just spewing out downloads, and I would rather have a conversation about what it is that you're interested in looking at, what is in your life that's showing up that you want to change and transform, and how you can go about doing that. And that way new information can come in and come through. And last week, we were talking about intention, that second part of the intention. We were looking at kind of how to set an intention, how to set a color, a frequency, an energy. And by setting ourselves up with an intention, our body can start to respond. And then we looked at the backspace, kind of what shows up, what we don't want the moment we set the intention. It's that feedback loop of that communication between what we want and what we don't want. And this week, we're going to be exploring 3 steps. Those steps are, we are going to be looking at how the mind is the picture maker and what pictures that our mind creates. And those pictures contain a lot of energy and information, and what we can do with those pictures, because the picture maker is nonstop. It's what keeps you up at night. And the second step is how our body responds. Our body is such a big part of our intentions in creating our intentions, but there is such a disconnect between our mind and our body. And the third step is how the heart brings these two, the mind, the body, into relationship. How the heart brings and connects the two so that they can start to communicate. And once they can communicate together, when they're on the same page, they can start to co-create. And this is truly where these are in alignment, where we're in communication with our body in a different way, that we can start to be kind and compassionate. And so I was just talking with, I hike and do 6 feet, of course, apart, but with clients even too, and this time with masks on. And I was talking to a client on the mountain the other day, and she was saying that, her intention has been, she wants a relationship. And so what has showed up is, a person has showed up, but it isn't what she wants. So she's feeling all this anxiety. She's feeling, very uncomfortable because the person has a lack of boundary. He keeps talking about these future pictures. It's interesting because especially if you meet a guy or a girl, typically a male will start to put pictures out there, like a reality of, seeing what your pictures are, trying to get you into that picture, not all the time. But so pictures of traveling, going to places. And then she had said, I just want to be friends. I have a boyfriend, which wasn't true. But all this fear and anxiety started to come up for her. Just even in saying, I just want to be friends. You're a nice person. But it was a very conflicting information. You're such a nice person. We do have a lot in common. So it sounded like it's a yes, but it's a no. And so what happens is, the mind will say one thing, kind of the energy of the body will do something completely different, and her intention is that she wants a relationship where there is, a connection, there is respect, there's flow. And this was not that. And so as we were kind of doing a process, I felt this energy he heard us. And he came right in and sent a very inappropriate picture. And in that moment, I could feel kind of the energy shift. And so it was good because it was allowing her to really define what her intention is now. And for her to see that because of the lack of boundaries and the fear of setting a boundary, of saying, my friends respect what I say. And if I'm saying I just want to be friends, I can't feel something different. And if that can't happen, then we cannot be friends. And so she had responded later, but the response for her, it was a step definitely in the right direction, but it was definitely, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be a bitch. When in fact, when you're very clear with your intentions, what you're saying, to the creator, to the universe, that this is what I want. I'm aligned with it. My energy is aligned with it. And that person kind of has to be in agreement with it. If they're not, then I have to let it go. I have to close the door, because breaking those boundaries, and what happens then if people start breaking those boundaries, you're letting an energy come into your space that is the opposite of your intention. So that's what we really want to look at this week. We really want to look at in your life, when you set that intention and you want something, what is the feeling? What is the body's response? Because if our body is feeling, fearful, upset, anxious, and we want something, there is no communication between the body and then the mind. And this is why we can't get our intention. And so we have to understand a few things, though, about the mind. And what the mind will do is, the mind is pretty bossy. The mind starts to boss the body around. And I just even want you to be aware of, when you set your intention, what happens to you. Does your mind start to tell you how lazy you are because you're not moving toward that intention? And I want to clarify. I get so many people that call me and say that, I'm lazy. I don't know why I can't move toward my intention. I just don't have the energy in the body. A part of that comes from the mind criticizing the body, the mind being like a little Napoleon, telling the body what to do and punishing the body. If you listen to the communication about bashing yourself, more bashing the body, starts to go into survival. The body will stop existing. And this is where a lot of health problems are created, when our mind starts to talk to the body and abuse the body in a particular way. And the mind too, when you set an intention, or most people kind of set goals. A goal is something that, you have a target, you have like a certain date that you want to do something. Intentions are a little bit different. Intentions are, you're intending to move in a certain direction, that it's like a will or a prayer, that your energy is aligned and moving. And so the moment you set your intention, here's what I want you to be aware of. What happens to the body? What happens to the response of the body? Does your mind give you every reason you can't achieve that intention? Or maybe you don't have enough energy in the body. And so what you have to do is you have to bring people in on that intention, because without kind of running your energy through other people, you can't move. A lot of times, think about it, that we need people around when we are in communication and connection, then we generate a lot of energy. But when we don't have that, kind of even on our own, we lack the energy in the body. And so just explore too, what happens when you set that intention? Do you give every reason why you can't do it? Or what happens a lot is you start thinking, okay, how am I going to do that? And the mind starts going down all these rabbit holes. And when it hits kind of a dead end, because it will hit a dead end with the mind, what happens then is you stop moving. Have you ever noticed that you have all this energy and inside, okay, I'm going to do something. You start down that path and things are moving, and then you hit something and it's a block and you can't get beyond it. And it's like you stall out. And when I look at intention, when you set your intention, several things have to happen. You have to have enough energy in the body. So the first thing, it is so key to be connected to our bodies, to be in this communication with our body, to be in this relationship and co-creation, as opposed to, it always puzzles me. Our mind is so small, and look at my body's like 5'8.5", so big. And why am I letting this mind boss me around, telling me what to do? And, we're so cruel to our bodies. We're so punishing. And then there's all this shame that we dump if we don't do something. And so it's this bad relationship that we typically have with our body. When the key is, if we can really care for our body, if we can have kind of coach our mind, be the coach for our body, really talk it through things and move it through things. And it can only really be done through the heart. And so I want you to kind of just look at for a moment your intention. And what is your intention? And just notice if you even have an intention. You may not have an intention. But if you don't have an intention, you do know what you don't want. So see what it is you don't want and create the opposite. What do you want? I want, in this instance, I want a healthy relationship. I want healthy relationships where there's a flow, there is this exchange, where there is wholeness, and where, I can, speak and say my truth, where that's respected, like in this example that I gave with my client. And that, with that boundary, with that respect, there's an agreement. And, intentions are these agreements. They're pictures. And so the mind starts to create pictures. And pictures they are an energy, like I want a good relationship where I'm respected, where there is a flow of communication and energy. And if there's not that, I'm not in agreement. I'm not going to allow that energy to come in and come through, because what it means then, if you allow that to come in and through, that you're not really serious about having that intention, that you have to learn more about creating a boundary, creating a new picture of defining a picture about what it is you truly want. So I just want you to notice this. Set an intention right out in front of you about arm's length. And we always kind of put an intention, you don't have to, in a diamond. And you don't have to see the image. It's not about seeing, it's about intending. My intention is I want to have a healthy body. I want to be in a great relationship, or whatever your intention is. And then set it at a color. And I'm seeing like a lot of magenta today. So I'm just setting my intention at a magenta. And start to notice the body's response to that picture, to that intention. Is the body excited about this? Is there a disconnect? Do you feel anything? Notice if the body has energy around, I want a healthy relationship, or no energy. A lot of times the body, you won't feel anything, the body won't respond. And the quickest way to actually get to your intention is having a body's response, of feeling it. And when you feel it, the body doesn't know, is this intention real or not real? So we practice, we use the mind about creating pictures. And if our body's not quite responding, it means we're kind of dead. Because why? Because our mind has bossed around our body so much that our energy checks out. So we have to get our energy back in the body and encourage the body. Okay, body, you know what? We got to negotiate. Body, I want to create this relationship. Kind of, are you in agreement? No response. So you continue to talk to the body. Okay, body, you know what? I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to take you on walks. I'm going to do something, I'm just going to even ask you what it is that you want. Without even knowing the answer, you just ask the body, okay, I'm going to give you what you want. And you'll start to see something come through maybe that day. And even just in this communication, because this is truly relationship, asking the body, getting the mind in relationship with the body. So ask this question in your body from 0 to 100%. How much energy is in the body to move toward this intention? And you may not know, but you can kind of feel, is your glass half full? Is it empty? Is it all the way full? Do you have energy in the body? Do you feel excited? Is there kind of this inspiration? Or, just notice it without even kind of changing it. And then start to notice, just start to notice if the body is in alignment. You'll start to just feel it on a certain level. And so here's what I want to do is the next step. So we look at intention, we look, okay, what's my body's response? We're just kind of identifying. And that third step is, what the heart's response is, kind of the heart bringing the mind and the body together. So the heart is all about relationship. And what the heart will do is it will open doors. And that's what we want. We want to open a door, a new door, so we can walk through that door. Because if we're just in the mind and the body's response, which the mind is the dictator and the body's just responding to what it is, the heart says this, okay, mind and body, let's get into this new relationship. So I want you now to turn your attention inward into your heart. And as you focus within, just ask the heart what it wants to create. Just ask its intention. Now, you may not get an answer, and that's fine, but also just go with the intention that you set. I want to have wonderful relationships around me, or this new relationship. A great intention would be, I want to have a new body being relationship. I want to be in relationship with my body and the way I'm being in present time so I can get my energy fully in the body. So let's just create that intention. And as you look within and just focus kind of your attention within, start to feel how the heart is like a magnet and it starts to pull energy. It starts to pull your intention inward. As you focus your attention in your heart, it becomes then the target for people to start to come in, for just what is it that you want to start to come in. And the more you can open your heart, the mind starts to move down and connect into the heart. The body, the whole body starts to move. And now we start to create a neutral space for this relationship to occur. So when I'm creating anything, it's more about asking, okay, body, what do you want? I'm always asking my body, okay, body, if we kind of do this little project, I am going to take you on a walk. I'm going to exercise you. I'm going to give you some good food. But if I am overriding my body, if I am punishing my body, I start to get sick. And if that happens, then I have to compensate. And compensating would mean I'm starting to eat the ice cream. I'm starting to do things that are so unconscious because it's kind of like just forcing the body to move through. And this type of relationship is abusive. This is how we abuse ourselves. So when you focus on opening to the wisdom of your heart, what happens then, my intention is this new body, the way I'm being in my body, because the mind is always about figuring out how am I going to do it, driving my energy out, slave driver. The heart is about being. The heart is about the now. And so when you start to place your attention there, and it's just placing your attention, asking, okay, how do you want to create this? not knowing how. It's never about the how. It's about the now. So just even that question, how do you want to create this? Opening it up allows now the body to receive more energy. Because when I'm looking at clients, they say their intention, I look at how much energy do they have in their body to achieve their intention. And if they don't have energy, most people don't know how to actually connect into energy, gain more energy. They deplete their energy. Why? Because their attention's always out. Like, I need to go out and do this, that. And so, how do we gain more energy? So, focus within. And how we get more energy is like, can you imagine from your heart connecting up to the sun? Like it's a plug. You're plugging into the sun. You are connecting into that light. And as soon as you start to connect into that light, this is our source, God, sun, connecting to the light. As we start to connect into the light, we allow that energy to fill us up. It's like that water to fill up our glass. And then we connect, it's like a grounding cord right into the planet. As we connect down, we start to release and let go of all of the energy that is not ours because we absorb things. It's like when I was on that walk with my client and this energy came right in and right through. It felt us talking about it and it invaded the space. And it's kind of like, okay, now we know, create new boundaries, create new pictures. And when you start to see and feel off, it means that you have a hole, kind of if you can imagine your space as a swimming pool, that you have a hole in it and you got to set a new picture that I own and occupy my swimming pool, my energy. And so as you start to ground, as you start to move your energy down, move the roots into the ground, now the body, I can even feel that with everyone when I'm looking at you. The body starts to release, but more importantly, it gets in relationship with the heart and new information and energy starts to move through the body so that we're vertical like a tree. So we're connected. So we have this relationship now with the body and the planet. You can feel if you want a healthy body, you have to be continually asking kind of the body and the planet, bring in new information, bring in new energy, update me in this time. And it's just a conversation. Energy work is about relationship. It's all about relationship. It's not about control. And relationship is connected then to the heart. So now I want you to just place your attention in the heart. Let this new intention be connected to, I'm going to have a new relationship with my body, a new relationship with my mind, my body, my heart, where I'm going to be creating from wholeness. And just start to, whatever your intention is, create a diamond out in front of you and create a new color. If you don't know the color, just choose a color. So a blue showed up for me. And as this blue showed up, I want you to just ask the question, how much energy do I have in my body? How much energy is aligned with this? And just start to notice, you may not even know, but everyone's energy is so much more than it was. And as you start to just say hello to this blue diamond, hello to my new reality, hello to these new relationships, I want you to really define that. Show it as a boundary. People that close the door on what they don't want, they can get what they want. But if you have holes open, it means that you're still learning lessons about allowing other energies to come in and invade. So have a very clear boundary right there that you are aligned, your intentions, your mind, the energy in the body is aligned with what it is that you want. And the heart is bringing those into relationship. And as you see that diamond out there, I want you to now connect that diamond up, send it way out in the universe. like a boomerang, move it to the edge of the universe. When you send your intention out, what happens is that it raises the vibration, that you let go of it. There are several things that happen. You hand it over. Okay, this is what I want. I am handing it over. And by handing it over, then you're creating a lot of space within you. And in order to receive, you got to have this space. And, as I talk to God, or however you would say the universe, or whatever your language is, when there's something that shows up that I don't want, maybe it's a body picture that shows up that I don't want, I'm like, okay, I need, like I need some feedback. I need an intention. I may not even know what that intention is, but that has to be a conversation. That conversation, it's kind of like a prayer, but you've got to fully give up. Okay, this isn't working in my life anymore, and I am handing this over, sending it way out to the universe, and you're sending your intentions way out to the universe. And it is a boomerang. As you send it out and let go, you've created space, and turn inward to your heart. When you turn inward to your heart, the boomerang now comes back, but it comes back in a different form. It comes back. I sent out that blue intention of how I want to have this body, my pictures, and my heart all in relationship. I sent out blue. It came out purple. There was a purple energy on it. And so it's like, all right, I'm showing my body this purple energy. And now I'm going to send it down, like send the boomerang right into the planet. As you start to lower it, it moves in and it comes into mass, it comes into form. I can even feel my body changing as I'm doing this. And then as I place my attention back in my heart, new energy comes up and green starts to show up. This green and pink energy, and this green energy is, I can feel the growth happening. And I'm working everyone's energy. So I'm watching your energy too. And this pink is very important because the pink energy is this care, this self-care, this self-love. That pink actually heals childhood wounds, because when we were children, what happens is our parents will tell us at times, I love you, and smack us. It's totally a conflict. I'm doing this for your own good, but I love you. Or they'll say something, they'll lie, and there'll be another feeling happening at the same time. This is why it's so important in your life to really recognize and be aware of what is being said, but what is being felt. It feels like kind of when there is an energy in the space that's off. It feels like you're underwater. It feels like, woo. Have you ever even looked at a person and they kind of look distorted? It's kind of like this. That is an energy that actually is in the space. And it's very important that we are in relationship with these three things: our mind, our body, and our heart. The heart really brings everything into relationship, but the mind and the body. And it is through the heart, by the heart connecting to our thoughts, and by the heart being in relationship with the mind to change the mind to be kind. This pink energy is going to allow the mind to be kind to the body, because when we are kind, we are caring. Like our mind should be the coach. Okay, you can do this. Okay, and what do we say? You're too lazy. I procrastinate. Like this whole procrastination picture that people have got in their mind is all bullshit, because they don't procrastinate. What is happening is they don't have enough energy in the body. So how do we get our energy in the body? We focus within, in our heart. It's like a magnet. We start to pull in our energy. And our energy could be in different places, different times. It could be stuck when we were kids and we were told something that, we believed and it wasn't even true. And then there was an energy in the space. And then these energies, and this is why I'm bringing up about these energies. It's kind of like on the hike with my client. An energy came in, and I'm, oh, this is what happens to her. The conflicting information, this energy comes in, and that energy then feeds kind of off of her, creating this anxiety. And that leads to all health problems. And that leads to even just showing us, okay, we're disconnected. How do I get my intention if I'm disconnected? So we're grateful for that, because now we can align. And how to align? Always return in the heart, always connect within, and asking the heart, what do you want to create? Asking the heart even to be in relationship with the mind, noticing the pictures the mind is setting, because we have to keep redoing kind of the pictures the mind sets, because it will override the body. So the conversation is, okay, here's what I want. This is my intention. Body, are you in agreement? Do you want to do it? And it's kind of like, a lot of times we feel this separation. It's like walking our dogs. If you have a dog, it's like, the dog is the mind kind of going out leading, and the body is dragging behind, trying to follow and trying to catch up, to where the mind is taking us. But if we can really focus and talk to the body constantly, body, what do you want? What can I do for you? If it's like, if you're a parent talking to a little kid, think about that. As a little kid, you need to take care of the little kid's body. Like, do you need to be fed? It's very concrete, very kind of basic, the conversation there. And so this is the conversation, just even in this connection to the body, spirit and the body. Body, what do you want? Body, what do you need right now? Body, like, I'll take you for a walk, and start to see. Walking is so important for the body, because when you start to walk, the intention starts to move in the body, and it creates this movement. It creates this integration. And when I'm walking, what I'll do is I will, because you always have to make it physical. So you'll have your intention out there, and I will just even start to move my hands kind of like as downward, moving energy out. I'll start to move energy up, and then I'll just even start to create this figure eight loop. That figure eight loop means my heart is connected to God. It's connected to the planet, that I am vertical, that I am growing like a tree. I'm moving my intention up. I'm moving it down. And it's this movement which creates the energy work. Because without this movement, it cannot change. It cannot transform. It's like you're holding on to something. And so then I will start to even work my right side, which is, this is my action. I'm taking action. And if you feel stuck ever, if you don't have enough energy in the body, you're just sitting there totally exhausted. We got to focus within the heart, start to even move. The right means I'm just bringing in my energy, pulling it in. And the left is this passive, where I am bringing energy into my intention, and it creates this kind of infinity loop where energy starts to flow out, it starts to flow in. And so by even creating this body movement, just even a few times, what happens then, it starts to activate your circuits, and it starts to, even just that, even if you did that, it will start to activate you. And then the body starts to be involved in this creative process. So the 3 steps kind of that we went over today is, the mind is the picture maker. And what I mean by picture maker is, the spiritual language is a picture. Not that you see a picture. I can see in pictures, but you don't have to see in pictures. It's more about intention. And intention is creating a picture of, I want a healthy relationship. I want a healthy body, this communication between the mind and the body. That happens only through the heart. And it is the key when these line up. So the first is the mind creating pictures. It's like targets. We're putting targets out there. The second thing is my body responding to these pictures that the mind is making? And the problem has been is that the mind is very abusive and tells the body how horrible it is. So the body is just like a slave going along with it. That's why we get sick. That's why kind of we don't get our intentions. And so the heart now, the third step, brings these two in relationship. So it's kind of the diplomat. Okay, body, you're talking to the body. Body, if you do this, I'm going to treat you. It's like a little kid. I'm going to treat you, body. I'm going to take care of you first. If you take care of the body first, the mind then will get on board. It won't be such a dictator, such a narcissist, such an abuser to the body. And then the body and the mind start coming into relationship, and it creates this figure eight. It creates this vertical energy, because most people, instead of being vertical, they're horizontal. I need to get energy, or my attention is out on what other people are doing, and if my attention is out on them, I will never know what my intention is. I may think it's what they want or what they have, but my life starts moving around them. And so by connecting into the heart, placing your attention within, you start to pull in then. It's a magnet. It starts to pull in your energy, pull in your spirit, starts to bring you back into the body. And by connecting here, your energy starts to move outward. It starts to create your field around you, your bubble. And by placing your attention within, it starts to unify then. And it creates this very kind relationship, with the mind, with the body. So I want you to try having this conversation. All right, set your intention, set it at a color, put it in a diamond, send it up to the universe. Okay, God, what do you think? I'm sending it up to you. I'm raising the vibration. And then move it down to the planet. Planet, what do you think? And then start to see the next day, you will get a feedback from the vertical. It's very different than when you're asking your friends for feedback or asking people around you. Or if you're talking to somebody, you could get exhausted, or you start to absorb their pain. Or being vertical allows you to truly be in this amazing relationship, physically and spiritually. And by being in the heart, then we can unify our relationships with others and the spirit in the body. So is there any questions or any issues? I don't know if you can type, but if there is anything that maybe you have a question about any of this, or a question in your life that you want me to look at something, here is your chance. And if not, I'll give you another minute. If not, I want to tell you that my videos are, some of them are on Facebook. A lot of them are on my website, on my blog, and my YouTube channel. I upload everything to at KimBellissimo.com. So I love you guys. And a part of intention too is, it's kind of like when a parent sees a child, how a kid says, watch me, mom, watch me, watch me. That child needs to be viewed. The child needs to be seen. The child needs to be activated. And we can do this step for ourselves. And what does that mean? It's like when people come in, most of the time, they've just never been seen. They've never been seen accurately. They've been seen through this distortion. And when you're seen in a distortion, you don't even know really who you are. So I know how to see people. So it's kind of like I see all of you in your bodies. I see all of you connected in amazing relationships, in communication with your mind and your body. I see you asking the body what it wants. And by asking the body what it wants, it grows, it thrives. And then I see miracles coming in. And I know people say, oh, what is miracle stuff? Do you know that I see that you are clear on your boundaries, that you're shutting the door? And by shutting the door to what you don't want, now it's purified kind of your energy field. So the universe will give you what it is that you do want. It will align with you. So I think maybe there's some questions. Okay, the word warriors keeps coming up. What does that mean? Okay, thank you, Nancy. So we are all warriors, and what warriors mean, and that is actually a really good word, because it's kind of like, if I'm going to war, it's kind of like I always love doing the haka, hoo, 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 like getting that energy into the body, and what is a warrior? A true warrior is like Uhtred, son of Bebenberg, is energy in the body. That is a warrior. And when a warrior, isn't it interesting that a lot of times people can only get in the body when they're in war, because it's fight or flight. Like, you have to fully get in to be there, to show up, and to have your intention. In a sense, you have to have that I'm showing up. I'm showing up for myself. I'm showing up in my body. I'm going to be here in a new way. And that's a warrior. And we are spiritual warriors. We are physical warriors. And in this time, isn't it interesting that, we're all kind of so tech savvy, not all so tech savvy, but, what's revered now is not a warrior. In the olden days, what was revered is you wanted to be with a warrior because it would keep you safe, protected. And now we really don't need that, but we're lacking kind of, it's kind of like, this is why sports is so great, because in a way, a lot of sports were training for being a warrior. And really what that is I'm in the body. I'm getting in the body, and whoo, whoo, whoo. People know I do a lot of hockeying around, and I kind of tame it down, because when I was in Tahoe over the summer last year, my niece and my nephews were there, and we were like doing the haka, and I like called in this energy, and literally there was a huge box on the table. It flew off. And so it is calling new energy in this time. And that is being a warrior, calling new energy in this time, that, you know what? You are not sitting in this old energy of your life, of existing in this reality that really doesn't work for you. It's like, bring it in, bring it on, this energy of whoo, in the body. So I know that may have been Okay, I think there is another question too. How do I protect my intentions? Okay, with boundaries that stick. Okay, that is a very good question. Like the client that I was walking with, you will find out what isn't sticking, because you will feel invaded. So invasion means, talking about war, invasion, kind of boundaries, kind of in the old days, the castle, the moat, having that boundary. It's kind of like, so, an invader comes in. What is an invader in this time? An invader, you'll feel it. Your energy will drop. Like, I feel what will happen if somebody invades my space, my stomach will bloat. And when that happens, immediately, I know it's an energy that feeds off of us, and whether you believe that or not. But, energies need food. And because if you're not vertically connected, then you got to steal energy, like that person that came in when I was talking to my client, and he just showed up because we were talking about him. So creating that boundary, creating that space is a picture. So you have to see where, kind of what showed up. Was it, somebody that dismissed you? Was it someone that, talked over you? And kind of what invasion kind of happened? And then you have to shut the door on it. So shutting the door on it, it's kind of like the response of my client, her shutting the door, it was a step, but her step was, you're a really nice person. I really, we have so much in common. So I'm not quite sure, but I don't want to be with you. But, it's kind of like, it's very clear. A picture is about agreement. So the agreement is this: unless you really respect my boundary, I am not going to be your friend. Because that is not what a friend is. So you have to reinforce the picture in a stronger way. It means too that there's just energy coming in and it's showing you, okay, I need to reinforce my boundary, my firewall around me. Sometimes I'll even just focus within the heart and create a firewall. And that firewall then will burn kind of the pictures, because it's getting it through on a picture, some picture. And we can't blame ourselves. This isn't to be, hard on ourselves, because energies will just, hit us and hit us and hit us. We want to thank it. If you can thank the energy that, hey, you're showing me where, there is a hole, and create a new picture, it creates a boundary and a protection. And so permanently, it means this: you may have, like, it's so funny because my one client, she's building her fence. I can't believe it. She's like building her own fence. Like, it's awesome. And so she's putting the boards up. And as she's been putting the boards up, it's like things have been coming in that have prevented her to put the boards up, like prevented her from putting a boundary. And she's determined, nope, I am setting a boundary. This is my board. And isn't it funny, even in the past week, 2 people on my block have put up fences. So it's kind of like you're building your fence and you're seeing, okay, who's running their energy through me. And by creating a boundary, it says, no, we're in a new agreement. We are in a new agreement. And that new agreement has to be with respect, resetting your intention. So that's a very good question. And so I would put your focus on your heart, create a firewall. It'll burn pictures because you may not know where it's coming in through, but I would ask the question, where is it getting in at? Because you reset your intention. And then I always ask for help, like from God, from the angels, like I ask for reinforcements. And when you ask for reinforcements, then you'll feel it. You'll feel supported, because it's about the relationship. This is not about you doing it alone. It's even asking for a session, we're here as a community. It's kind of like, so I am sending a picture to you and to everyone that I see that your boundaries are completely filled, that those boards on your fence are solid, and that by owning your space, you are protecting, you are honoring your own energy. And that is the most valuable thing there is. There is nothing more valuable than your energy. And so by honoring it, you are receiving something new. And that's the beauty. You protect your space. Guess what? You're up leveling. You are now saying, I'm out of agreement. I'm in these new agreements where I'm going to have kind, caring people that treat me with respect. And that relationship is with you and your body, and with you and your mind. And we're putting Napoleon in the back seat, the mind. And is there any other questions? All right. So join me too on Sunday if you can. We are doing a ritual. We're going to be doing a ritual talking really about the people that have passed, even in our genetic line, how, in a sense, we can honor that memory, even if we don't really know them, by creating new agreements with the people who have passed. It changes the genetic line, because a lot of kind of our boundaries that have been invaded comes from, in a sense, like England and, invaded Ireland. You have history like that, and then you get invasions in your own life. So this weekend on Sunday at 1, we are doing a ritual kind of honoring our ancestors in a sense, or people who have passed, and making new agreements with them, like how we are all going to be. I make new agreements with my ancestors all the time because it's the easiest way to actually impact my family and myself. And then you get, this, your spiritual ancestors, like, let's do this, because sometimes they couldn't have done it in the body. So now we can set it up where they can do it as a spirit, and it supports us. So it is, if you want to do it, if you're not on my mailing list, just go to kimbellissimo.com and just send me a text and I can put you on my mailing list. It may end up in, I don't know, Mailchimp, if it ends up in spam. Otherwise, just email me. I think I'll put my email on there. It's kimbellissimo@me.com. It's on Zoom at 1:00 on Sunday. And it has been an amazing process in talking about kind of death and dying. And people say, I don't want to talk about death, but in a sense, you create new life. When you end, it's kind of like ending these old agreements of our boundaries being invaded, ending these agreements where we're not clear with our intention, where we give these mixed messages with our intention. And that's why we don't create something new. So join me and Val Fishman. And it's more of a conversation. It is more too of where everyone's kind of participating and also in doing this ritual and kind of meditation. So I love you guys, and thank you for joining. I'll put this up at Kim Bellissimo on YouTube. Thanks. Bye. Bye.